They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Take back in every breath. Just revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark. And I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blaze it in the season. Got plenty food for thought. Just gotta watch who I feed. And I've been walking with them angels. So I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas failing free, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak. Nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas fading backs off. Better bear witness, I'm back off. I be ripping shit like sex off. Dump dogs all barked out. Behind it say I jump full. No room for emotion. So I pour my heart out. This roll hard, but I ain't treating it stay. And if it ain't UPK, then they in the way. My niggas righteous. They real, they down to something. Flow so deep, they drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah, bro, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. So rank me no head, and I ain't even inspired to sleep at hollow. So when they ask some UPK, tell them absolutely. And I ain't shooting my ways for nothing, gotta execute it. It's I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart, and Alana, she's so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies. And they daddy proper usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about the shit I used to do in that 98 Navy. The tan never see without wisdom, this world make me weak. I found out that the truth was bitter. The lies I speak, tried everything. I guess me and Hana had to meet. Now I make the blind see, and I make the dead speak. And teach both my little girls that they thing. Lie with a man, they better bring your blood and band sheets. Hey, I'll smash the time. This Glock match my handpiece, and I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. Chicago 47. Praying for army death. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. As why tell them I'm loyal to the king. To the righteous grave. Loyal to the king. I walk that straight lane and break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have me. I'm loyal to the king. Bring the high. But you can say loyal to the king. To the righteous grave. Loyal to the king. I walk that straight lane and break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have me. I'm loyal to the king. Bring the high. But you can say loyal to the king.
Give me 1 second. Bear with me real quick. They good, little boy? What?
Yes.
Alright, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shemi Awashai Barakatah, Yahweh Shemal Latah, Shemi Awashai, to all the brothers and all the sisters. This is Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohanan. Here to teach all blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians that you are God's chosen people according to the Bible, and the Bible is your true heritage, and it shows you your true nationality and who you are. So now, Shalom on Christ. So now I'm going to be finishing up, I'm going to end it up, round out Joshua tonight. I'm going to finish it all up, you know what I'm saying, and move on to the next thing. If we finish up Joshua, I might just go into Jonah. I don't know if y'all know about the account of Jonah. Most High Christ, what's that? Jägermeister? Nah, I'm too loud. But, where we at? So I'm gonna recap it for y'all real quick. So far what's been going on is oh yeah, don't forget like and subscribe, share the class, promote this truth. You know what I'm saying? Get it out there. What else is there? One West Radio coming up tomorrow. No, I got some right here. I think it's that gentleman in there. One West Radio coming up tomorrow. Make sure y'all tune in for that. What else we got? We got One West Radio, the High Holy Day, September 17th, the memorial blowing of the trumpets. Make sure y'all tune in, man. Come join, come get with us if you can. 246 East Highland Avenue for all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians in the area. Come and enjoy. Come on a Sabbath service, a Saturday, 10 a.m. Come any days you want to class. You're more than welcome. If you are a Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, you're more than welcome to come to class. Call in One West Radio, and shoot, you got any questions? Inbox One West Radio. You got anything going on you want to ask? Make sure y'all call in. Make sure you got a question that might want to get brought up on the show. Inbox it into One West Radio on Facebook. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow. You know what I'm saying? But back to what I was saying, Joshua, right? Joshua came into succession of Moses and became the ruler of the nation of Israel, or the man who the Lord was dealing with at this time, and he led Israel to conquer many lands, or to conquer many kings, and take over land which will be our inheritance that the Lord promised us. Some lands we had to put in that groundwork for. Some lands we didn't have to do nothing for. You know what I'm saying? So this is what the Lord plan was for Israel, and Joshua executed it out to perfection. He fought many wars in his days, conquered many kings. He did righteous things. He parted the sea, made the sun stand still. He parted the Jordan. Let me clarify that. He parted the Jordan, made the sun stand still. He was the brother that accomplished the walls of Jericho. You know what I'm saying? Knocked down the walls of Jericho. I say he made the sun stand still. Yep, he made the sun stand still. Walls of Jericho. Parted the sea. He bore the Ark of the Covenant. All the days of Joshua was a righteous and glorious time. Like the scriptures say, when righteous are in leadership, the people delight. When the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. You know what I'm saying? But the people were delighting in the rulership of Joshua. And let's get it. Joshua 12. This is where we left off at. I'm going to skip a lot of it because it's going to go into, I'll just read that. I'll tell you after this. Let's get Joshua chapter 12. And let's begin with that. So far what we had, Joshua was just now coming off a war. And we already got the east side of the Jordan. Now we conquering the west side of the Jordan. And we building up our lands now, right? We building up our lands, and here it goes. Go ahead.
So you say you want chapter 1?
Joshua 12 and 1, please.
Okay. Joshua chapter 12, verse 1. Then Joshua called the Reubenites, and the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, and said unto them.
That's Joshua 12?
Ooh, it's rockets, man. It's 22.
Okay. Joshua 12 and 1. Go ahead.
Joshua chapter 12, verse 1. Now these are the kings of the land, which the children of Israel smote
Right now, these are the kings that that conquered already. If you've been following, you will see the wars that we've been going over, and Joshua been conquering a lot. The Lord sent him on a mission, and Joshua been fulfilling that duty. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead. He's doing it for his people though, so his brothers and sisters can have an inheritance, so they can have a land of peace, a land of rest. And this is what he has to do in order to get that land. Go ahead.
And possess their land on the other side of Jordan, toward the rising of the sun, from the river Arnon unto Mount Hermon, and all the plain on the east.
Right, go ahead.
Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon and ruled from Aurora, which is upon the bank of the river of Arnon, and from the middle of the river, and from half Gilead unto the river Jabbok, which is the border of the children of Ammon.
All right, keep going.
Verse 3. And from the plain,
They're just describing the nations and the kings who Joshua conquered, right? Go ahead. These are the, I believe, Ammonite kings right now. Go ahead.
and from the plain to the sea of Sinarach on the east, and unto sea of the plain, even the salt sea on the east. The way to Beth Jeshimoth.
What verse you at?
Verse 3.
Okay, go ahead.
Beth Jeshimoth, and from the south under Ashdod, Pishgah.
Drop down to 6 for me.
Verse 6. Them did Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the children of Israel smite.
Right, so, okay, Slakia. This is describing who Moses killed before Joshua came into rulership, right? This is who Moses killed, and they named the kings in verses 1 through 5, right? Keep going.
And Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave it for a possession unto the Reubenites and Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh.
So this Ammonite land that we got on the east side of the Jordan, Reuben, Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh are now, that's their inheritance. They're dwelling over there. They have peace. But never when we first started reading Joshua, we said what? Well, what did Joshua tell them? Just because the Lord gave you an inheritance, gave you peace, your brothers don't have it yet.
Right.
That's why we say this Bible is about brotherhood. He says your brothers don't have peace yet. So now what? Now what we got to do? You got to, just how your brothers fought for your peace, you fight for your brother's peace.
Right.
And that's what Reuben and Gad and half the tribe of Manasseh did, and continue.
Verse 7. And these are the kings of the country which Joshua and the children of Israel smote on this side Jordan on the west.
Now, we're going to get into Joshua's accolades. Whom he smote, right? Go ahead.
From Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon, even unto the Mount Halat that goeth upon to Seir, which Joshua gave unto the tribes of Israel for a possession, according to their division.
So now it's just describing the lands, right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. In the mountains and in the valleys, and in the plains, and in the springs, and in the wilderness, and in the south country, the Hittites.
Right, now we're going to get into the nations, then we're going to get into their kings. Who did these nations that Joshua killed? Go ahead.
The Hittites,
right?
The Amorites,
right?
And the Canaanites,
right?
The Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
Right. Now this is all describing nations of Cain, Ham, and I believe Amorites or Japheth. No, Amorites or not Japheth. Basically, Chinese men and Africans. This is who we use. Not Chinese men, but Asiatic men and Africans. Right. This is who we conquering at this time. And now it's going to get into the kings of who he conquered. Go ahead. Any questions or anything off topic, go ahead, type them in the comment section. We'll get to your questions. But go ahead.
Verse 9. The king of Jericho, one the king of Ai.
Now look, we gonna get into these nations. Joshua conquered many kings and did many wonderful things through the power of the Lord. But Joshua, through the power of the Lord, Joshua did many things. And he's gonna name all these kings. And if you know how many kings Joshua done took down, drop it in the comment section below. We're gonna get at the end of this chapter, but drop it in the comment section below. But go ahead.
Which is beside Bethel.
All right, so he took down the king of Jericho, the king of Ai. Right, go ahead.
1. The king of Jerusalem.
Right.
1. The king of Hebron.
Right.
1. The king of Jormoth.
Right.
1. The king of Lachish.
Right.
1. The king of Eglon.
Mm-hmm.
1. The king of Gezer.
Mm-hmm.
1. The king of Debir.
Right.
1. The king of Gitter.
Mm-hmm.
1. The king of Hormah.
Right.
1. The king of Arad.
Right. Go ahead.
1. The king of Libnah.
Right. Go ahead.
1. The king of Adullam.
Mm-hmm.
1. The king of Makeda. That's a tongue twister. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you just do that. Go ahead.
Makeda. 1. The king of Bethel.
Mm-hmm.
1. The king of Tabah.
Right.
Salakia. Tapah. 1. The king of Hefer. 1. The king of Aphek. 1. The king of Lasharon. 1. The king of Madon. 1. The king of Hazar.
Mm-hmm.
1. The king of Shimron.
Right.
Meron. 1. The king of Aksheth.
Mm-hmm.
1. The king of Tahanak. 1. The king of Megiddo. 1. The king of Kadesh.
Mm-hmm.
1. The king of Joknim. 1. Of Carmel. 1.
Right.
Of Carmel. 1. The king of Dor.
Mm-hmm.
In the coast of Dor. 1. The king of the nations of Gilgal. 1. The king of Tirzah. 1. All the kings 30-1.
Right. So Joshua, Salaki, I know that was a lot, but Joshua, the definition, I know some brothers out there play Call of Duty or whatnot, and when you get the dude that got the most kills, it say King Slayer. Joshua was the definition of a king slayer. He slayed 31 kings, and we read about it how he had these kings. He brought them before the nation and hung them up on trees, pierced them through their sides, and Joshua was actually, killing kings and doing it for our brothers and our sisters that had that land that the Lord promised us to possess. You see what I'm saying? And it was all for not just for fame or glory and power. It's because the Lord had commanded him to do it. And just like the Reubenites got their land to possess, and the Gadites and half the tribe of Manasseh, it was about the other brothers getting that same opportunity to have that land and have that peace for their children and their wives. But look, if we didn't go over there and conquer, if we didn't go over there and do what the Lord said, what would happen? What would have happened to us? Go ahead.
The Lord would have turned his face to us, and we would have had to fight those battles on our own.
We had to fight those, and we would have lost, and we would have been in their captivity. They would have made us their captives. You see what I'm saying? We would have been back in bondage once more again.
It's like turn his face from us.
Right. Turn his face against. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Kind of turn his face from us. Now read that. 13.
Chapter 13, verse 1. Now Joshua was old and stricken in years.
Right now, this is Joshua had been through this. whole time period. Don't think it just happened day by day by day. This went over a period of time. He's fighting wars for years. 31 kings. You think some of these nations wasn't putting up a fight? No, this putting up. It went down. It was going on for years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and Joshua was well stricken in age. And I just want to get that real quick. Jump all the way to. I'm gonna break it down. Okay, I'm gonna jump to chapter 23, but I'm gonna break down what's going on in between this chapter. In between these chapters, Joshua's getting older, and we start to, now that he conquered all these, he killed all these kings, and we conquered all these nations, and we got this land. Now what do we got to start doing? We got to start dividing this land up. We got to start giving it, each tribe their inheritance, and breaking down how we can start to basically set up our government. That's what we started to do. And in between these chapters, all the way up to 23, you getting the breakdown of who gets this land and who gets that land, and this is how we're gonna build this up, and this is how we're gonna build that up, and we're gonna have refuge cities, and we're gonna make sure we establish the elders and things of that such. That's what we did in between those chapters, right?
Right.
And now give me 23.
Joshua chapter 23, verse 1.
Right.
And it came to pass a long time after the Lord had given rest unto Israel.
Right, so he had given us rest. We dwelling in the land, we having babies, we been having parties, you know what I'm saying, keeping the high holy days. You know, Joshua is establishing righteousness in the earth. Go ahead.
From all their enemies round about.
Right, go ahead.
That Joshua waxed old and stricken in age. And verse 2, and Joshua called for all Israel.
Right, so this is now Joshua. He was getting old back then in 13. Now he's waxing old and he's stricken in age, right?
Right.
Zemaiah. Yeah, I don't know what she's doing. But so Joshua's getting old and stricken in age, right? So now he's getting older and he called for all Israel. Like usually when you read about brothers' accounts in the Bible, when it says they waxing old and getting stricken in age, they usually call for their sons, or they start to divide up their inheritance, or they bless them before they about to go. You see what I'm saying? Because they know they're getting up there, right? Go ahead.
And for their elders, and for their heads.
Right, so he's calling for all the elders and all the heads. And go ahead.
And for their judges.
And their judges.
And for their officers.
Oh, wow, officers. So,
and said unto them,
UPK is not wrong for having officer, priest, and for saying I'm a priest and officer. It's biblical. Let's go. Go ahead.
I am old and stricken in age.
So this is what Joshua is going to tell them. He knows that when you leading, let's say you lead in a nation, it's the right thing to do is to have somebody who could succeed you to continue the right thing that you have established. That's what you as a father, what you do to your children. You raise your children up in the way that they may go. If you a brother in this truth, you're going to raise your children to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, to keep the way to the Lord. So when you pass, it's something that they were raised doing and that they continue to do. And if they're more willing, they never turn away from it, right? And so, continuing that, same as a leadership. You have a leadership role. You teach brothers to do the right things at all times. You remind them of what the Lord did for them. You remind them of the things that the Lord told you to remind them of. Don't let them forget it. You know what I'm saying? Be memorable. Meditate on the ways of the Lord. Right? Okay. So this is what Joshua's about to do. He's about to remind the children of Israel of what, he's getting up there in age. He knows he's about to go. So he's going to remind them to keep this going. Right? Go ahead. Keep going.
Verse 3. And ye have seen all that the Lord your God have done unto all these nations.
Right.
Because of you.
Because of you. You seen what the Lord your God has done to all these nations because of you, Israel. He calling all the elders, all the judges, all the heads, and all the officers, and he's telling them. He's reminding them of this. Right? Go ahead.
For the Lord your God is he that hath fought for you.
Right. The Lord fought for Israel at this time period. 31 kings. 31 kings. The Lord slain for the children of Israel's sake, and gave them land, and gave them possession, and gave them peace. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 4, behold, I have divided unto you by lot these nations that remain.
Right. I divided. Now he's breaking down what he's doing. He divided up the nations for y'all that have remained. Go ahead.
To be an inheritance for your tribes
Right. Go ahead.
from Jordan, with all the nations that I have cut off, even unto the great sea westward.
Right. So he's describing how we didn't do it from the east part of the Jordan to the west part of the Jordan. We divided the lands up so every tribe has its inheritance, and the Lord fought for us to have this inheritance. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 5, and the Lord your God, he shall expel them from before you.
Right. All the leftovers, all the people who are still dwelling in the land that are occupying and you need to expand, the Lord will expel them out for you. So he's telling them, go ahead.
And drive them from out of your sight, and ye shall possess their land, as the Lord your God hath promised unto you.
Right? Go ahead.
Verse 6, be ye therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses.
Right. He said, be ye therefore very courageous. Give me the definition of courageous, little boy. He said, be ye therefore very courageous. Put an adjective in front of that. Be very courageous. You got it? Just read it when you got it.
Courageous out of the Merriam-Webster dictionary, having or characterized by courage or brave.
Having or characterized by courage or brave. Go ahead.
A courageous soldier, a courageous decision.
Give me courage then. That'll probably be better.
Courage out of the Merriam-Webster dictionary, mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty.
Right. Read that one more time, loud and clear for me. This is a very important definition. It's a characteristic that you should pray for. It's something that you should embody, and it's something that you should want to have a part of yourself or a part of your character. A part of your character. It should be one of your characteristics, right? Go ahead.
Courage out of the Merriam-Webster dictionary, mental or moral strength to venture.
Mental and moral strength, right? To venture, go ahead. Persevere.
And withstand danger, fear, or difficulty.
Right. It's how you withstand danger, fear, and difficulty. You gotta have courage to have that. You gotta have perseverance. You gotta understand that this is a tough time, but I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna accomplish the mission. You can't be shaking, wavering, and fearful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Fear is not of the Lord. Courage is though. You see what I'm saying? You gotta take courage. It takes courage to endure hard times. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It takes courage to go through war. It takes courage to come through these doors. You see what I'm saying? You gotta understand that, and just because it might take a little bit of courage to come through these doors, or a lot of courage to come through these doors, you still have it in you. So embody that and have courage in everything that you do. Right? Go ahead.
That ye turn not aside therefrom to the right hand or to the left.
Right. Don't second guess this law. Be very courageous and keep this law. Right? And don't turn from the right hand or to the left. Don't second guess. Don't have it in the balance. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. That ye come not among these nations, these that remain amongst you, neither make mention of the name of their gods, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves unto them.
Right. So he's saying that keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, and be strong, remain strong in your culture, and don't be subservient to these other gods in the nation in whose land that you dwell, that are dwelling with you. These people are dwelling with you. Don't start serving their gods. Don't start swearing by them and living their lifestyle. Don't even make mention of them, right? Go ahead. Don't, and for sure don't bow yourself down to them or serve them. Go ahead.
Verse 8, but cleave unto the Lord your
Right.
God.
Cleave unto the Lord your God who fought for you, who slayed 31 kings for you, who gave you an inheritance of land. Actually, more than 31 kings, who destroyed Egypt for you. See what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue.
As ye have done unto this day.
Right. Cleave unto the Lord your God like you've done unto this day. Keep living how you've been living. Go ahead.
Verse 9, for the Lord hath driven out from before you great nations and strong. But as for you, no man hath been able to stand before you until this day.
The Lord said, no man has been able to stand before you until this. What's like? Read that again.
For the Lord hath driven out from before you great nations
Right.
and strong. But as for you, no man hath been able to stand before you until this day.
Right. The Lord has driven out nations for you, and nobody been able to stop you. You have not taken one L out of here. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead, continue.
Verse 10, one man of you shall chase 1,000.
Oh, one of you can handle 1,000 a day, man.
Right.
Because why? Why can one man handle 1,000 of these other nations' men? Go ahead.
Because he has the Lord with him.
Because he has the Lord with him. That's the courage you should have. You should understand that the Lord is with me, so I know I can handle what I need to handle. That's with any situation. You can apply that to any situation. Rent, warfare, spiritually or carnally. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So I can say, just a question. So with that verse, does that mean that the casualties of Israel during war were very low?
Yes. Minimalistic,
No.
like the casualties we probably suffered was less than we probably didn't die. Like we knew we was going to war and coming back home.
No.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh shoot, we lost 10,000 men. Like, nah, it was nothing like that.
Right.
Like, oh, we lost 1,000 men. This battle was like, no, we conquered.
Right.
Because the Lord said He gonna give it to us. You see what I'm saying? The times that we did lost, we lost soldiers, but it was because of, brothers and was this being disobedient and stuff like that. So go ahead, continue. Did I answer your question?
Oh yeah, got it.
All right, go ahead. 10.
Verse 10, one man of you shall chase 1,000. For the Lord your God, He it is that fighteth for you.
Right, the Lord fights for you. That's why you winning. That's why you don't die. That's why you are overcoming. Go ahead.
As He hath promised you.
You don't got white Jesus on your side. You don't got Christianity or Islam or nothing like that on your side. You got the Most High Power, the God of heaven and earth, land and sea, creator of all things. That's what you got on your side, and He's going to allow you to prevail. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 11, take good heed therefore unto yourselves.
Right, so be mindful of yourself, that you don't mess up what the Lord has brought you to. He's built this up for you. Be mindful not to mess it up. It's kind of like your children. You tell them, like, Dad, I done worked hard for this. Be mindful. In the last days, it's going to get rough. Stay strong. Follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. Don't fold. Don't bend. It's something that you would tell your kids. You about to pass and you want them to be, good. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue.
That ye love the Lord your God. Else, if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations.
Right. So if you go back and cleave, because you gotta realize we didn't kill everybody. Some of them made league with us. Some of them we took over their land and we didn't kill them all. We saved some of them. So they were still serving their gods and doing what they're doing. Right.
Right.
Now, that shows you the difference between our slavery and Esau's slavery. We could have just utterly destroyed them and beat them and mutilated them and made them serve our God and all that type of stuff. But we didn't. That's not the type of people we are. You see what I'm saying? We just got to be strong enough to know not to serve their God. See what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue.
Verse 12.
Right?
Verse 12. Else, if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you, know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you.
All right, right. Now hold that. Hold where you at. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 2. Now, when Joshua was giving them a very clear and direct order. Don't go back and serve these other gods. Don't go back and marry these other nations. The Lord is going to stop being with you if you do so. Right? Deuteronomy 7 and 3. Go ahead.
It's like it's already said 3 or 2.
Let me hear 2.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
Right? This is speaking of what Joshua and what Moses did. The Lord's going to deliver our enemies into our hands, and we shall smite them and utterly destroy them. Right? But the ones that are living, what's going to happen with them? Go ahead.
Thou shalt make no covenant.
Thou shalt make no covenant. Go ahead, continue.
With them.
With them.
Nor shew mercy unto them.
Right?
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Don't make marriages with them. This is a precept that you can go into your interracial marriages and shows you that you don't make marriages with people who are not your nation.
Right.
Go ahead.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Give me verse 1 so we can name the nations that they're talking about right here.
Okay. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Speaking of this time right now that we're reading in Joshua 23. We are in the land that the Lord said he's going to give us, and now we possess it. We occupy that land, right?
Okay.
So this is speaking of when in future tense of when Moses went and fought. When we go fight these lands and we gather these nations, conquer them, and when later on down the line when you gather these nations and we conquer them, this is what you have to do. Go ahead.
And have cast out many nations before thee,
Right.
the Hittites,
Right.
and the Girgashites,
Right.
and the Amorites,
Right.
and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites,
Mm-hmm.
and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Right. So this is did not Joshua conquer these nations? We read it in Joshua 12.
Right.
We conquered these nations. Some of them Moses conquered, and some of them, and the rest of them Joshua conquered. Right.
Right.
So the Lord is telling them these nations were greater and mightier than you. But now drop back down to 3.
Okay. Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Right.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Right.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Right. Right. Why? Now, we're not supposed to make marriages with them. We're not supposed to serve their gods. We're not supposed to do nothing. But let them be subservient to us, right? Like a second-class citizen in our nation. Go ahead, but why? Why should we do that? Verse 4 is going to explain it. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
For they will turn away your son from following. That daughter, okay. And I brought this out last class. I said a woman has a powerful influence on a man.
Right.
And let's say you get a woman that serves her whole life, she didn't serve Buddha. You got you a Japanese woman or whatnot. You see, she didn't serve and loved Buddha her whole life. Dad and raised her. That's what she truly believes in. She just likes you. She just likes you and attracted to you. Now, you're going to want to please your woman. She might want to get that little meow meow statue. I know women know what I'm talking about. They see it all the time when they walk into the nail salon and the statue just be laid like this. And you're looking at everywhere at the little clock in his belly. That's an idol.
Right.
That's one of their deities. They got the little Japanese Buddha man or whatever. I don't know too many of their names, but I see him all the time when you go into these nail salons or when you go into like the little Chinese store trying to get some noodles or whatnot.
Right.
You see it all around. That's who she serves. Now, you will now go along, you going to render your ways to your woman.
Right.
You're going to start to be like, oh yeah, we can put one of them meow meows up in here. I call it, it's like I call it meow meow, but that's the only thing I can bring in my mind. Yeah, you can put one of them on the shelf. Say, oh, it looks nice. Like, you know, no worry about it. You're not really thinking too much of it.
Right.
Next thing you know, we can put one of them pictures up. We can put that up. Next thing you know, she done put a whole altar up inside your damn house. You don't even know it, and got you walking by like, hey, that's cool. You condoning that behavior.
Right.
And now, like, then you'll see her going to go pray to it. You'll see her going to go do her thing to it, and you'll condone that. It's kind of like how Solomon did at the end of his days. He resurrected altars to some of his heathen wives, and that was Solomon. That was the downfall. The kingdom got snatched from us like that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The Lord is telling, Joshua is telling the children of Israel back in 23 that don't make marriages from them or the Lord will stop being with you. Right?
Right.
Go ahead, continue. This is a little bit on interracial marriage. Hold on. Yeah, continue. It's another precept in Genesis. Go ahead, continue though.
So I guess, can I start back at verse 4?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods.
Like, he's going to cause you to serve other gods. You having that heathen husband, like, for example, Candace Owens, that's a prime example. She got a heathen husband, and she believes slavery is an option, and it wasn't really relevant, and didn't matter, you should get over it, and
right.
all different kind of, she got weird philosophies. On a more spiritual sense, don't make marriages with him. I'll put it this way: how Nick Cannon made marriages with Viacom and that Jewish rabbi. Now look at him.
Right.
That's his spiritual husband, his father. You see what I'm saying? And that's who he learns from. That's who he looks up to, and that's the way he's gonna learn his ways. Same thing. Your daughter, don't give him to no white man just because you feel like she might have a better opportunity in this world.
Right. He
will destroy your daughter. You see what I'm saying? And same with an Arab man, Muslim man, or Chinese man. It will destroy your daughter. Daughter start looking pale in the face, faint in the spirit. Like, damn, baby, she come back around you all lively and good. She like, damn, what did happen to you? You know what I'm saying? Same with the son. Like, damn, boy, that woman putting stress on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's really because the war is not with your son or with your daughter no more. Because they didn't make marriages with nations that they wasn't supposed to. I'm gonna give me this precept. Talks about the giants in the earth. Okay, boom. I'll read it. Don't worry about it. Just hold where you at, because we're gonna go right back there. Genesis chapter 6. And it came to pass when the men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Hey, could you bring that in here? And the Lord said, so the Lord started to see what we're describing right now is this is another interracial brothers having interracial marriages. And the Lord seeing this and saying, look, this is not right. That's why in verse 3, Genesis 6:3, he says, the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with men, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Right? Now the Lord seen that and was like, look, these brothers ain't listening. My spirit not gonna always be with men, because they gonna want that Arab box. They gonna want that Hamite box.
Right.
And sisters likewise, you're gonna want to be with a heathen man. and it's going to be to your downfall, right? The Lord said, my spirit will not strive with you. Now give me, go back to Deuteronomy. Give me the strong back there. Not that one, slack it. The gentleman. Go ahead.
Verse 5, sir?
Yeah, count. Verse 5.
Verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them.
No, wait. Finish reading 4. So will,
Like,
for they will turn you away.
so will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
Right. So the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you. Why? Because you are now serving other gods, and they were going to turn you away from serving the Lord, and the Lord will be, anger of the Lord will be kindled against you. This is what Joshua was describing, how the Lord is not going to be with you no more. You're not going to be able to conquer nations if you start joining these nations. Right. Go ahead.
And destroy thee suddenly.
And the Lord is going to destroy you. Go ahead, continue.
But thus shall ye deal with them.
This is how you should deal with them. Go ahead.
Ye shall destroy their altars.
Destroy their altars. Right.
And break down their images.
Break down the images. This is what we're doing now.
And cut down their groves.
Right? So this is what we're doing now. We're destroying that image and that altar of Christianity. We're destroying the image and the altar of white Christ. You know what I'm saying? We're destroying that by bringing out what? The truth. By bringing you and letting you know that, hey, Christ was a black man according to this Bible. And Christianity is a lie. That's destroying the altar. But they back then were literally doing it. Right. You see what I'm saying? They were literally going in there and tearing down tabernacles. You see what I'm saying? Tearing down altars. Right?
Right.
And this is why. Go ahead, give me 6.
So I can tell you when to finish praying.
No, go ahead, drop down to 6.
Verse 6. For thou art an unholy people unto the Lord thy God.
This is why you be separate. This is why you don't make marriages unto them. This is why you listen to what I say. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord your God. Thy means yours. Go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Unto himself. The Lord wanted you to himself. This is why he did all that for Joshua. This is why he did all that for Moses. This is why he did all that for Christ and for you, Israel. Go ahead.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Israelites are above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now you might look at your current condition. You in the slums, you in the ghettos, you in poverty, you being shot down and gunned down in the street. Don't let that, don't be dismayed at that. But a lot of people, the reason why this is happening is because we turned away and we decided to make marriages unto their daughters. We decided to serve their God. Our people love Christianity. We decided to be the way that the Lord told us not to be. Right?
Right.
And so what did it say in the previous verse? The Lord's anger will be kindled against you, verse 4, and will destroy you. This is why we being destroyed. But now you reading this, and you learn that you are a holy people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You learning this, and you coming into this knowledge. What do you got to do? Oh, you got to reverse that. You got to become undestroyed. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm just saying that. But you got to become undestroyed. You got to become relearn. You learn to do wickedness, learn to do righteousness now, and learn that your true history. You're not just an African American. You're not just a Hispanic. You're not a Native American. You are Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Right. You are Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Zebulon. You know what I'm saying? You are all these nations. You're not really Puerto Rican or Haitian or African American.
Right.
You are the 12 tribes of this Bible. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people.
The Lord didn't choose you because you was the biggest nation. The Lord didn't choose you because you had great things, because you was the most wonderful people. The Lord didn't choose you because of that. Right? Go ahead.
Nor choose you because ye were more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people.
For you were the fewest. Actually, the Lord, you were the smallest of all people. And the Lord multiplied you greatly. Look at you now. You everywhere. Right? Go ahead. Why did the Lord choose you?
But because the Lord loved you.
Read that again.
But because the Lord loved you.
Right. That's why the Lord chose you. Because the Lord set his love upon you. And he loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. The most high power over all the earth loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. That's why he chose you. That's why he gave you laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's why he made an oath with our fathers and swore unto them that he will increase us and bless us and give us a promised land. That's why he said these things. Right? Now jump back to Joshua 23. That was just a quick sidebar on why we shouldn't make marriages. Mila, put that down. And stuff like that. Go ahead.
Okay, so what verse?
We were at
13, right?
13, count.
Verse 13. Now for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you.
Right, they shall be a problem, snares and traps unto you. Go ahead.
And scourges in your sides.
Go ahead.
And thorns in your eyes. Until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you.
There shall be scourges in your side and thorns in your side, a problem, a headache until what? Until ye perish off this good land which the Lord your God gave you. So it's going to be to your downfall is what he's saying. Right? Go ahead.
Right. Verse 14. And behold, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and ye know in all your hearts and in all your souls that not one thing hath failed of all the good things which the Lord your God spake concerning you.
Not one thing failed of all the good things the Lord your God spake concerning you. So the Lord your God said this is going to happen, and it happened. The Lord your God said he's going to give you land, give you peace, give you blessings, and multiply you, and the Lord did it. So he's going to give you any nation. He's going to subdue the nations before you. He did it. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue.
All are come to pass unto you, and not one thing hath failed thereof.
Right.
Therefore, it shall come to pass that as all good things are come upon you, which the Lord your God promised you, so shall the Lord bring upon you all evil things.
Right. Just like the good things came to pass and it happened, mess up and do the wrong thing, and the Lord your God is going to bring evil upon you as well. Go ahead.
Until he have destroyed you from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you.
This is nothing new to what they've been hearing, because they done read the curses of Deuteronomy 28. They know what can happen. You see what I'm saying? They know what can happen if they choose not to serve the Lord. Why do they know what can happen? Because they've read the law, and Joshua constantly reminded them of the law. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But go ahead and continue.
Verse 16. When ye have transgressed the covenant of the Lord your God, which he had commanded you, and have gone and served other gods, and bowed yourselves to them, then shall the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
Right. Go ahead. Continue.
And ye shall perish quickly.
Go ahead. Continue.
And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and they presented themselves before God.
Right. So now, look, we read in 23 and chapter 23. He is basically reminding them, don't forget your covenant and don't join these other nations. Don't join them, don't serve them, don't make marriages with them, nothing. keep the observances that we've been doing, keep the ordinances, Salaki, keep the ordinances that we've been doing, and follow the Lord, right? And dismiss them. Now he called them back again. Go ahead, continue.
Joshua chapter 24, verse 2. And Joshua said unto all the people, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel.
The first one, this is basically Joshua's last words, right? His last words on his death. He's dying. Now, Joshua's gonna in the previous chapter he kind of gave Israel, you were better. You stay strong, do the right thing, don't be joined into these nations. Now he's charging them and giving them the word of the Lord. He brought them all before the Lord. That's what it said in verse 1, right? Yeah, and they presented themselves before the Lord. Now he's charging them before the Lord, and he's about to tell them something that the Lord wants them to hear, right? Go ahead.
Your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time.
Now he's bringing it all the way back to Noah, right? Because our people know our history at this point. It ain't like now, like some people they think Noah, was a white man, he had the little staff, and all the animals just got on the boat. Like, it wasn't. They knew what it was for the raw aspect of what it was, right? Go ahead.
Even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nachor, and they served other gods. Mm-hmm. And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood.
Right, and I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood. So Abraham's father served other gods, right? And the Lord chose Abraham, right? He said, I took him. Look, this is Joshua reminding blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians about their history from the beginning. Joshua wants, and if you really look at it, it shows his love for his people.
Right.
It shows his leadership. He's like, I want y'all. He's hitting you see your grandpa's dying or something like that. I don't know, people have been in that situation, and he's telling you something very important before you go. Like, hey son, sit down here. I'm gonna tell you something. And they telling you this thing, it's gonna stick with you. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna stick with you because it's like, man, my grandpa said that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue though.
And led him throughout all the land of Canaan, and multiplied his seed, and gave him Isaac.
Now, if you never read the story of Abraham, you're going to get a brief little summary of what's going on. He led Abraham through all the land of Canaan and gave him Isaac, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 4.
And the Lord chose Isaac. Abraham had other sons, but the Lord chose Isaac. That's the only son in the Lord's eyes that Abraham had, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
And I gave unto Isaac Jacob and Esau, and I gave unto Esau Mount Seir to possess it. Mm-hmm. But Jacob and his children went down into Egypt.
Right, so Esau had his possession, but we went into bondage. It's been rough for you for the beginning. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Now look, hold on, wait. Now Jacob, when we went into, now the story of Jacob is when now there were no Israelites until Jacob. Y'all understand that, right?
Right.
There were no Israelites until Jacob came about, because Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and Jacob, okay. That's why we say Abraham, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Abraham, the Lord chose Abraham, the Lord chose out of Abraham's seed, the Lord chose Isaac, out of Isaac's seed, the Lord chose Jacob. And he chose with those two brothers prior to Jacob, is whom he said, I will be a God unto you and your seed. Now, the nation of Israel comes from Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel after he wrestled with an angel. He got his name changed to Israel. Hence, Jacob had 12 sons. Hence, you have Israelites, his sons, right? And that's what it is, right? So now the nations come down. We were Israelites. We weren't Israelites prior to Egypt. No, we weren't Israelites prior to Egypt. We were Israelites when we got to Egypt. Go ahead.
Verse 5. I sent Moses also and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt.
Right. So this is recapping our history, right? He sent Moses and Aaron because you went down to Egypt and you were bondsmen and bondswomen and you were slaves. And the Lord said, I sent Moses and Aaron and saved you from that situation. Go ahead.
According to that which I did amongst them.
Mm-hmm.
And afterward I brought you out.
And afterward I saved you. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And I brought your fathers out of Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And you came unto the sea. And the Egyptians pursued after you, after your fathers, with chariots and horsemen unto the Red Sea.
Right. So now he's recapping the whole story again. Now, for those who know the book of Exodus, what point are we at right now that he's about to speak on? He said, I brought you to the sea and the Egyptians were pursuing after you. What point is this? Go ahead.
This is when Moses is escaping Israel out of Egypt, right?
Right. This is the splitting of the Red Sea.
Splitting of the Red Sea.
This one, he's reminding them of that. I brought you that you was caught. You was a sea right here, and the Egyptians was coming. You had children, women, men, goats, and all kind of stuff.
Right.
And go ahead, continue.
Verse 7. And when they cried unto the Lord, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea upon them, and covered them. And your eyes have seen that what I have done in Egypt.
Right.
And ye dwelt in the wilderness a long season.
Right. So you witnessed the people who he's speaking to today. He's saying, you seen what I didn't see. You didn't see the glory of the Lord. You seen what the Lord did.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. And I brought you into the land of the Amorites, which dwelt on the other side of Jordan.
This is the eastern side of the Jordan. Look, this is one of the key scriptures for me. This is like, I think I got it on my Facebook in my bio. This is like a key scripture for me because I teach this to my kids. It's like a quick summary of our history. It's easy to break down. You know what I'm saying? I teach it to my kids. I love it for myself. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of what the Lord did for me and for my forefathers and for my people. All the way from before the flood. What he did for Abraham. Makes me want to go back and read about what he did for Abraham. Right. Makes me want to go back and read about Isaac and Jacob and stuff like that. These are the things that are beautiful to us.
Right.
Because it's our history, right?
Right.
Go ahead, continue.
And they fought with you, and I gave them into your hand.
Right.
That ye might possess their land. And I destroyed them from before you.
Right.
Then Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and warred against Israel.
Right. Go ahead. A Moabite came and warred against you. Go ahead.
And sent and called Balaam, Balaam, the son of Beor,
to curse you. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 10, but I would not hearken unto Balaam.
Right.
Therefore he blessed you still.
Right. The Lord bless you. He didn't listen to them curses that they trying to throw on you. He didn't listen to that and them praying against you. He said, I blessed you still. Go ahead.
So I delivered you out of his hand. And ye went over Jordan. And came unto Jericho.
Now this is the beginning of Joshua's story, right? Joshua's first big defeat was Jericho.
Right.
If you remember, we've been reading. Joshua's first big defeat was Jericho, right? Go ahead.
And the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Gerishites.
Girgashites. One of them.
The Hivites and the Jebusites.
Right. These are all the nations that fought up against you. Look, it's a reason why the Lord keeps mentioning these nations that came up against you. why Joshua keeps bringing them up, because he warred
Right.
for his brothers. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead, continue.
And delivered them into your hand.
He delivered these nations into your hand.
Verse 12, and I sent the hornet before you, which drave them out from before you, even the 2 kings of the Amorites, but not with thy sword, nor with thy bow.
Right. So look, he's saying that you conquered nations and you didn't have to fight. You gained cities and you didn't even have to fight. I sent some bees, some hornets, some wasps in front of you, and it drove them out before you can even get there.
Right.
You see, remember that account we read how the Lord, when Joshua was fighting the war, they tried to flee to that city, and the Lord dropped hailstones on them, and the hailstones killed more than the Israelites did.
Right.
Right? Because you prince of the power. Why you gotta lift up your hand and do something? I mean,
Right.
faith without works is dead. Obviously, you gotta put in work. But what I'm saying is like, these people are like, the Lord is looking at them like they so beneath you that you don't have to do too much. Watch me do it for you.
Right.
And you just serve me. Go ahead.
And verse 13, and I have given you a land for which ye did not labor.
Right. And if we read in the accounts of Joshua how some cities we didn't utterly destroy. We kept them. And we dwelt in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we came into this city that was by AI or whatnot. I'm just using an example. And we didn't destroy the city. We destroyed the inhabitants, but we didn't destroy the city. Like Jericho, or we destroyed the whole city. The whole city, burnt it down. But certain cities we kept that we didn't have to labor for. Right?
Right.
Go ahead.
And cities which ye built not,
Go ahead.
and ye dwelled in them.
What verse you at?
Verse 13, sorry.
All right, it's about to get heavy. Go ahead.
Of the vineyards and olive yards which ye planted not, though ye eat.
Right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. Now therefore,
Now look, we done recapped everything. We done heard about what the Lord did for Abraham. We heard about what the Lord did for Isaac. We done heard about what the Lord did with Noah. We done heard about what the Lord did for us in Egypt and Moses. And now I'm going to recap to what the Lord did for us in this time period of my reign. Immediately. Now, therefore, read 14 again. Nice and loud for me.
verse 14. Now therefore,
Now, therefore,
fear the Lord.
fear him. Fear the Most High Power who destroyed Egypt with locusts and plagues and whatnot, and fire and brimstone. Fear the Lord who allowed you to subdue 31 kings under your foot. Fear the Lord who decided to that decided to love you above all nations upon the face of the earth.
Right.
Fear the Lord that chose you above all nations, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Fear him. Go ahead.
And serve him in sincerity.
And serve him in sincerity.
And in truth.
Somebody give me the definition of sincerity. Baba Kashad.
Sincerity out of the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the quality or state of being sincere, honest of mind, freedom from hypocrisy.
Don't be a hypocrite. Honest of mind, meaning I'm gonna do it and with the soundness and with the truthfulness, like from what I really wanted to do. It's something that you really want to do.
Right.
He's saying, serve me in sincerity. Go ahead.
And serve him in sincerity and in truth.
Right?
And put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood.
Speaking of who? Abraham's fathers. Speaking of the people. Speaking of the gods we served in Egypt and things of that nature.
Right.
He's saying, put those away. And remember, that's why he reminded them of what was going on, what the Lord did for them. Remember that the Lord served that. The Lord did all this for us, and serve him, fear him. Because just as well as he did this for us, he can destroy us the same way.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
And in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord.
Right. Put away them other gods that you served prior to, and serve ye the Lord. Right?
Right.
I said it before in another class, it don't matter where you at. He said, follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, I'm paraphrasing, in the land whither you go to possess. That means anywhere you go, serve the Lord.
Right.
Africa, Asia, South America, North America. It's like Canada, Australia.
Right.
You in the damn Arctic, nigga, on the what's it called? What's it called up there? The North Pole. North and South Pole, you better serve the Lord no matter where you go. You see what I'm saying? That's how serious it is. There's no place on the face of the earth that you can escape the Most High power.
Right.
No matter if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, you are bound to the Lord.
Right.
And you will suffer consequences for not serving Him. Right? Go ahead, continue.
Verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord.
Okay, hold on. This is a question that I say to all Israelites. Read 14 for me one more time. For me. One more shot.
Verse 14. Now therefore, fear the Lord.
Right? Now He's giving you the game. He didn't recap your history. He's giving you the game. Now therefore, fear the Lord.
And serve Him in sincerity. And in truth. And put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood.
Now let's bring it a little bit into today's terms. Put off Christianity.
Right.
Put off Islam.
Right.
Put off being a Rastafarian. Put off being a Buddhist.
Right.
Put off being all these false ideologies of this world. And serve the Lord and fear the Lord in truth and sincerity.
Right.
Go ahead.
And in Egypt.
Right. In your place of bondage.
Right.
Go ahead.
And serve ye the Lord.
And serve the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord.
And if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord, if it seems like what we're doing in the ICPK is wrong, if it seems like being an Israelite is wrong, which you naturally are, but some people try to make it like being, I'm not a Christian, I'm being an Israelite. Like try to make it like a religion type thing.
Right.
If it seems wrong for you to stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, if it seems evil unto you to serve the Most High Power,
right,
who saved your behind out of Egypt, who did all these wonderful things for you, who sent Yahweh to die for your sinful, bastardous ways, if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord, what you gonna do? What does Joshua say? What did he say? Come on.
Choose you this day.
Choose this day. Right? And this is my attitude towards a lot of them. Like I said, I teach it to my kids, I read this on the regular. Go ahead.
Whom you will serve.
Choose this day who you want to serve. You want to serve Christianity? Choose. If you want to serve the Most High, choose. If you want to serve Islam, choose. Right? Go ahead.
Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell.
Right, let's bring it into today's terms. You want to serve the gods that your great grandma and grandmas and all them that taught you?
Right.
Catholicism and white Christ, white Jesus, Caesar Borgia. You want to serve him? That's what your grandmas and them were serving.
Right.
You want to serve Islam? Choose this day.
Right.
Or you want to serve the gods in whose land you dwell. Whether you in, like I said, Asia, Africa, whoever land you in. Right?
Right.
But they said the God of the Amorites. Right? But go ahead, continue.
Or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house.
But listen what Joshua said. You choose. If it seems evil unto you to serve the Most High Power, you choose. And you do that. You go on ahead and handle your business and do it. We'll see how that works out for you from a distance.
Right.
But he said, as for me and my house, go ahead.
But as for me and my house,
what?
We will serve the Lord.
We will what?
We will serve the Lord.
We will what?
We will serve the Lord.
That's what Joshua was telling the people in the congregation. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And if you don't want to, you can go serve who you want to. But we're going to serve the Lord over here. I don't know about you. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And the people answered and said, God forbid.
God forbid. That's what the people respond. They said, Lord forbid. We said that's a popular term in UPK. Lord forbid.
Right.
Lord forbid, right? God forbid.
That we should forsake the Lord.
Right?
To serve other gods.
That we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. Lord forbid that we do that. Go ahead.
Verse 17. For the Lord our God, he it is that brought us up and our fathers out of the land of Egypt.
Right.
From the house of bondage.
From the house of bondage.
Go
ahead.
And which did those great signs in our sight.
Mm-hmm.
And preserve us in all the way wherein we went.
Uh-huh.
And among all the people through whom we passed.
Right. So Israel is basically responding to Joshua, because Joshua kind of came at him kind of raw.
Right.
Came at him pretty raw. Because I think this is a war. How do you say when somebody's been through war over time?
A warmonger.
A warmonger. He's a brother that's been. He probably speaks rough. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't speak probably nice and smooth and
right.
You know the way you want to be spoken to. He probably talks to you straight up. It's like he told you straight up. Look, this is what happened. We done went through all this over here previously. And look, we at this point in today now. We got rest. We got peace. We got land. We fought for this. We won this. And the Lord was with us this whole way. Now, if it's an evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose who you want to serve.
Right.
Whichever God you want, go do it. But as for me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And the people responded, God forbid that we go astray. Don't let this happen to us. Right? We don't want that.
Right.
Before we recognize, we understand that he did preserve us through Egypt. He did help us in all these wars that we fought. He did help us in all these times when we didn't have nothing in the wilderness. He did help us. So now, what?
Verse 18.
Go ahead.
And the Lord drave out from before us all the people, even the Amorites, which dwelt in the land. Therefore will we also serve the Lord. Mm-hmm. For he is our God. And
for he's our what?
For he is our God.
Mm-hmm.
And Joshua said unto the people.
Now Joshua gave him the opportunity. See what I'm saying? He gave him the opportunity to be like, he said, choose. Go ahead.
And Joshua said unto the people, ye cannot serve the Lord, for he is an holy God.
That's why I said Joshua was a rough brother. See what I'm saying? He said, you can't serve the Lord. Yeah, y'all saying that, but you can't serve the Lord because he's holy. It's like how we tell brothers and sisters, you ain't built for this truth.
Right.
You're not. But he's a holy God. Go ahead.
He is a jealous God.
You gotta think. Joshua didn't see how these people are.
Right.
He didn't see it.
It's like
you know what I'm saying? He didn't see it. He didn't see how Israelites are. Not only from his own reign, but from Moses' reign.
Right.
And we know what they were doing to Moses. They put Moses through it.
Right.
Read the book of Exodus. Read Deuteronomy. Israelites was putting Moses through hell.
Right.
Right? Go ahead. He said, you can't serve the Lord because he's holy.
Right. And Joshua said unto the people, ye cannot serve the Lord, for he is an holy God. He is a jealous God.
He's jealous, right? Go ahead.
He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins.
He's reminding them in a rough way, but he's reminding them he ain't gonna play around with you. He ain't gonna let you walk around here and slip up because all that he done did for you for years.
Right.
Right? And you've seen it with your own eyes. They just said they seen it. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 20. If ye forsake the Lord and serve strange gods.
Now look, if you forsake the Lord and you serve strange gods, you hear this truth, and you go serve another God, what's going to happen to you, man?
then he will turn and do your hurt. You hurt.
And he will turn and do you hurt. You will have sons and daughters and not get to enjoy them. Hold this. Where we at? How much time we got? Let's see if I can pull some of these curses real quick. Read that, what you just read one more time.
Count on God, sir. Verse 20. If ye forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt.
Right, he's reminding them of what they read with Moses. The blessings and the curses. I'm going to read some. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, that thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Right?
Right.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Thy basket and thy store speaks on what? GMOs. When you go to the store, how you can't get the things that you want. You are. They trying to. As I said, I think I brought out last class. They trying to kill you in every which way, shape, form, or fashion.
Right.
It's a miracle that blacks and Hispanics is walking around here today.
Right.
They polluting your air, poisoning your water,
Right.
poisoning your food, feeding you garbage, and you still alive. That's the Lord.
Right.
That is the Lord. Honestly, you walking around today, like you might think you giving your baby or you yourself the best option.
Right.
And it's just as good as all the rest of this. All the rest of the garbage out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just as good as that. Right? That's thy basket in thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kind, and thy flocks and thy sheep. Speaking of farmers and things like that. So, you know, we don't have no sheep and flocks living in the city. Right?
Right.
Let me get this one I want to get. 23. Thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is underneath shall be iron. That's a heavy one. Your prayers ain't being heard. Your work on the earth is not being sold, right? Let me see. 25. And the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and shalt flee 7 ways before them, and thou shalt be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. That's going on to this day.
All right.
That's going on right now. You talking about you going out there, you protesting. You like, yeah, we gonna do this, we gonna riot, and they driving you right back out that damn city that you can go back home. Go back. What you think you doing is not working. Go ahead.
Right. That's like for people that get a little bit of power and they take it from you.
Right.
Like Bill Cosby or R. Kelly. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They just get just a little bit of power and they take that chain and take it.
And they embarrass you.
Right.
You make them billions of dollars and they just sit up here and they drive you out 7 ways. Bill Cosby got how many different women on accounts? That's more than 7, but it's just the amount of how many ways they're gonna drive. They're gonna destroy you. R. Kelly as well. You know what I'm saying? Before all that, R. Kelly was one of the R&B greatest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Greatest of all time. Right? Give me 30. Thou shalt, Deuteronomy 20 and 30, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. That's that whole, you hear promoting all different type of songs.
Right.
And the Lord is telling you, and it happens to brothers a lot of times. You get a wife, you marry her, and then next thing you know, she's sleeping with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know. And then thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Prison. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You gonna have establish something. Like, baby, we just got this spot. Next thing you know, you getting ICE coming to get you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? What else is there? 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, Thy eyes shall look and fare with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. Meaning, you're going to see your sons and your daughters being taken away from you. That's what happened to the Hispanic brothers and sisters down there at that border.
Right.
Their sons and their daughters is being snatched out of their goddamn hands.
Right.
And it's being taken away from them. And their eyes shall look and shall have a longing for them, meaning that I want my child, I want to be with my family. But your hand has no power, meaning you can't do nothing about it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? These are curses of the Lord.
Right.
This is for those who don't know. These are curses of the Lord. Right? At 36, the Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set and thy king which thou shalt set over thee into a nation which thou know thy fathers have known, and thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone. See what I'm saying? What's the two main wood and stone? What are the two main nations? What are the two main religions that blacks and Hispanics serve? Go ahead.
That would be Catholic and Christianity for the wood, and Islam and Muslims for the stone.
Right, perfect. Excellent answers. You see what I'm saying? Catholic and Christianity for that wood, and Islam for that, and Muslims for that stone. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword among all nations. And the Lord shall, whither the Lord shall lead thee. You shall be a byword. What's the byword? An astonishment. What is that? Go check on that. He said, thou shalt become a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. What's a byword?
That's like a non-important word. Like,
what do white people call you? That's a better way to put it simply. Nigga, they call you that. They call you Negro. They call you many different things. A spick. They call you. It's basically a degrading word. That's what you should be known as in the world. Instead of being known as Yasha Allah.
Right.
Instead of being known as Judah, Yahweh,
right.
Ashar, lawyer, Naphtali, Gad, Ra'aban. Instead of being known by what you really are, you shall be known as African American.
Right.
Instead of being known as Prince of the Power, you shall be known as niggas.
God.
You shall be known as Mexicans. You're going to be known what they want you to be known as, right?
Right.
These are some of the things, some of the curses that the Lord has put on us, right? It's one more I wanted. Give 47. Because thou served not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness. Look, Joshua is reminding them of this. Because he's saying serve the Lord with courage. Be very courageous when you serve the Lord.
Right.
Serve the Lord. Be happy. He gave you peace. He did all these things for you. Serve the Lord. But he told them, just like Moses told them, y'all not gonna listen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he said, but because thou served not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Right? And one more thing. Go ahead.
Does that yoke of iron represent the chains they had us connected to?
Literally, they had a yoke in the iron across your neck. Like literally, they did. Like these curses, it's like if they don't identify blacks and Hispanics to the T,
right,
and who the children of Israel are. I mean, of course, you got color precepts and you got this and got that, but these curses for sure.
Right.
Can't really see the blessings that much because we've been cursed for a long time. But you can see these curses for sure.
Right.
These curses talk about diabetes. Curses talk about how the Northern Kingdom, when they served and they reigned, like they had the cannibalism. They was eating each other's babies, and same with Judites in the Southern Kingdom. Right. I had to say that Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom thing, but They talked about that, and that was going on. The dad like, no, give me first dibs of the baby, and they eating their own children.
Right.
The Lord talking about how we will get botches and boils and be cursed with plagues and things like that. How we will serve our enemies. How we will have the yoke and iron upon our neck.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That's the what is it called? The I forgot what it's called that they put on the sheets, right? When the Pilgrims came to America and they were taking over.
Smallpox.
Smallpox.
It talks about things like that. That's what it's talking about. It's another disease that's similar to that too, though. I can't think of it, but it was smallpox and it was another disease that they had too. It was a skin disease too, but it also attacked the thing like the way you looked. I can't remember it though, but it was smallpox, and it was another one as well. And would I read that? Yep, and until he had destroyed thee, right? And let me get the last one before we go. And the Lord, Deuteronomy 28:68, it's one of the most popular ones for people in the truth. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way thereof I spake unto thee. Egypt again, meaning bondage again. That's why Joshua we just read, Egypt, the house. They said you have brought us out of Egypt, the house of bondage. Egypt is depicted as bondage, right?
Right.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondswomen, and no man shall buy you. That no man shall buy you, meaning that no man shall be able to save you from this condition.
Right.
Nobody. Right? Go back to Joshua. This is why Joshua is warning them and telling them to do right. You see what I'm saying? Because who was sold as bondsmen and bondswomen? Like on a mass scale. Go ahead.
Blacks, Latins, and Native Americans, right?
Exactly. Blacks, Latins, they try to, like the fake Jews try to have that Holocaust bull crap. But during that Holocaust, yeah, a lot of y'all died, but was y'all sold on ships? Was y'all transferred? Did y'all go through these actual curses that have been written down? Or y'all still going through these curses that y'all written down? You can't say that you are. Because you're not. You're living over there and living luxurious. You know what I'm saying? You're ruling half the goddamn earth. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir. That's one thing my mom was telling me. Like, she thinks that the actual Jews are, Salaki. She thinks that the people that are out in Jerusalem right now are the actual Jews. So she spoke about the Holocaust, but I said they didn't go anywhere. It was a big massacre, but they were already out there. They migrated out there.
Yeah, it was like somebody going from New York to Atlanta, or like New York to California. Like it wasn't that far of a distance that they had to really go. They didn't take you from a continent and scatter you across the four corners of the earth. Just like the Lord said he would do. I will scatter you amongst all nations. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead. I think we left off on 20.
Verse 20.
21 or 20. One of those.
Let's start at 20, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay. Joshua, chapter 24, verse 20. If ye forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt and consume you after that he hath done you good. Verse 21.
He will do you hurt after he done did you good. Right? Go ahead.
And the people said unto Joshua, Nay, but we will serve the Lord.
They were like, nah, we gonna serve the Lord.
Right.
Right? Because, Joshua just came at him like how he did. Like, you can't serve the Lord because he's holy. He's like, nah, we gonna serve the Lord. Right? Go ahead.
And Joshua said unto the people, Ye are witness against yourselves.
You are witness against yourselves. Right? Go ahead.
That ye have chosen you the Lord to serve him. And they said, We are witnesses.
So now this is like how we made a covenant back then with Moses, Joshua reminded them of everything and making a covenant with them again, right? Go ahead.
Verse 23. Now therefore put away, said he, the strange gods which are among you, and incline your heart unto the Lord God of Israel.
Right. Now he's saying, put away the strange gods. Okay. You are a witness between yourself. You know the oath you're making today. Right?
Right.
You know it. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And the people said unto Joshua, the Lord our God will we serve, and his voice will we obey. Verse 25. So Joshua made a covenant with the people that day, and sent them a statute and an abundance in Shechem. And Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of God,
Right.
and took a great stone and set it up there under an oak that was by the sanctuary of the Lord. And Joshua said unto all the people, Behold,
right?
this stone shall be a witness unto us, for it hath heard all the words of the Lord which he spake unto us. It shall be there for a witness unto you, lest ye deny your God.
Right. Go ahead.
So Joshua let the people depart, every man unto his inheritance. And it came to pass after these things, that Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old.
Brother Joshua, this part made me sad, man. I low-key wish I knew this man.
God.
You know what I'm saying? In this life. I know he probably been regenerated, and I probably do know the brother.
God.
I'm just saying, I wish I knew Joshua in this, and right then and there. He was a strong brother.
God.
And he was dedicated and focused and very determined in all his ways.
God.
You see what I'm saying? And he loved his people. And he loved the Lord more than all.
Right.
And he wanted, just like how he wanted to serve the Lord, he wanted his brothers and sisters to serve the Lord. You see what I'm saying? He lived a long time. The brother had a long time. Had a long life, a glorious life, many accolades.
Right.
And he lived a long time. That's why I think this account of Joshua is very important. It's very inspiring to a brother like myself, or to a brother coming in. You get to see some of his history, to hear some of the wars that we went through. It's all in this world, in this society, all you hear about is just us dying, us being taken. That's something bad happened to us.
Right.
Learning your history kind of can be motivating.
Right.
To make you want to go back. They say if you know your history, history repeats itself. So once you know your history, you can kind of rebuild towards that again, or build it better than what we had before. And that's what we're trying to inspire us to do, man. We're trying to bring back the kingdom of heaven with our King Yahushua, and we're trying to establish something righteous here in ISUBK. Actually, we honestly already did establish something righteous, but go ahead.
Salaki, sir, I got two questions.
Go ahead. I got two answers.
As far as the story of Joshua, they don't mention his iniquities, right? Like things that he messed up on, or
That's what they had now.
Khan.
Nah, they didn't mention that. He didn't have that.
So he
Straight soldier.
one of the ones in the Bible who went through a perfect situation.
Right.
Khan.
And prevailed. Instead, Joshua, that's why I say this story is, I'm glad you brought that point up.
Khan.
Because sometimes you would hear in an account that the brother did glorious things, and then towards the end, he kind of like
Right.
sag off.
Right.
Joshua was one of the brothers that stayed diligent to the end.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He stayed focused and determined till the end.
Right.
Right? But let's keep reading.
So it's like it, sir.
Go ahead.
One
Go
question.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
What was did Joshua have an heir, or was he a eunuch?
What do you mean? Does he have sons?
Like did he have kids?
Ooh. They didn't say that he did. They didn't say the generations of Joshua. I don't know.
Oh, Khan. Well, he might. There's a chance he might have been a eunuch.
Yeah, there's a chance he might have been. Might have just did what he did. And you know what I'm saying? Just I wouldn't say eunuch, because eunuch is like more so they got their rod cut.
Well, spiritual.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. What's it called? celibate, like kind of like how Christ was.
Con.
He didn't have no wives. Kind of, I would say that he didn't have a wife. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't say, it doesn't describe. Let me see this real quick. Let me see. But keep reading on that. I'm trying to find it real quick.
Oh, con, sir. Slocky, is it okay if I can start at 29?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep reading.
Con. Chapter 29. And it came to pass after these things that Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And they buried him in the border of his inheritance.
Mm-hmm. So they buried him in the land of Ephraim. Go ahead.
In Timnath Serah, which is in Mount Ephraim, on the north side of the hill of Gahash. And Israel served the Lord all the days of Joshua and all the days of the elders that overlived Joshua.
Hold on, reread that. Now look, they buried the brother where he was supposed to be buried at, in his land and in his inheritance. Beautiful thing. Gave him a proper burial, right? Now, Joshua left a legacy. Let's keep going.
Verse 31. And Israel served the Lord all the days of Joshua.
And that's what Joshua wanted. That's what Joshua wanted. And Israel served the Lord all the days of Joshua for 109 years. But how long do you live? 100 something years? 110 years? Go ahead.
110 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, all the days that he reigned. I don't know, he wasn't reigning from a baby, but go ahead.
And Israel served the Lord all the days of Joshua and all the days of the elders that overlived Joshua.
Right. So that means Joshua left a righteous rulership.
Right.
Because why? Not only did they serve him while he was there, he raised their righteous brothers to allow them to be, that they kept what he established going. Right. More so what the Lord established. Go ahead.
It's like it, sir. In a metaphor term, that he was impenetrable.
Right. And Joshua, man, he was so, like, that's why I say, like, this is such a beautiful account, because he was what you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Brothers want to be a straight soldier for the Lord. Like, they want that. And Joshua was that. And he kept the law, taught the law. You know what I'm saying? Raised up righteous brothers. You know what I'm saying? And raised up and had a nation following him in righteousness. Go ahead.
And all the days of the elders that overlived Joshua, and which had known all the works of the Lord that he had done for Israel, and the bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel brought up out of Egypt, buried they in Shechem in a parcel of ground which Jacob brought of the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver, and it became the inheritance of the children of Joseph. Verse 33, and Eleazar, the son of Aaron, died, and they buried him in a hill that pertained to Phinehas, his son, which was given him in Mount Ephraim.
So, basically, to round it up, we're going to end the class with this. Basically, to round it up, Joshua, I mean, I can't find what it says. It doesn't say he has children or not. But, it doesn't say that he did. So, I'm not going to say that he did. But Joshua, what Joshua did do, he was an excellent military leader.
Right.
He executed the military aspect of Israel to perfection, something to be looked after. He conquered 31 kings, raised up a nation, divided an inheritance. He stopped the sun. He made time stand still. Right. Split the Red Sea, split the Jordan. Shouted with a great shout. Destroyed the walls of Jericho. had many and mighty military feats, and gave Israel through the power of the Lord, gave Israel peace. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Gave them refuge, gave them an inheritance, and also led them in righteousness, man. And now with that, we're gonna end the book of Joshua. We're gonna end the class. Tune in next week. We're gonna go in. I might go in on Jonah. I might have something else I might go in on, but kind of leaning towards Jonah, because Jonah's a good account as well. One West Radio tomorrow, man. Make sure y'all be here. Y'all can come join us in the building, man. 246 East Highland Avenue, San Bernardino, California. And we also got a scripture breakdown class, or tune in online, man. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure to go up. And with that, I'm in the class. Shalom.